Hi, I'm Luke Maxwell, and I know that right now things seem kind of crazy, and a lot of us are stressed at being stuck at home. But being at home gives you a lot of wonderful opportunities to gain new skills and to find new ways to relax and calm your mind in the newfound quiet. So, although it may not be what you wanted, it's best to make the best of it. So, this is a yoga routine that I do every night, and it helps me to sleep better, and it also just helps me to overall de stress and relax and just stay in good mental health. So, to start with, I extend one leg, and you want to keep this leg extended and bring your knee out and try to stretch as far as you can. So your foot is going to be flat out, and then what you're going to do is you're going to slowly, especially if you don't do this a lot, you want to go very slow. You're going to place your palm down and you're going to gently sit back. And so you're going to feel a nice stretch right along the inner thigh, and you're going to rotate your foot up. So you have your foot tucked in here, and then you're going to reach your hand onto your shin. Going to take this arm up, inhale, and exhale. You're going to keep your chest facing forward, and you're going to arc your arm up and over and try to reach, obviously you're not going to make contact, but try to reach your hands towards the outside of your foot. So extend that way. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the low back and the side here. This is a really good stretch, especially if you've been sitting down a lot all day, which with quarantine, we definitely do quite a bit. So just be here for a few breaths. Stretch a little bit more and try to pull down a little bit with this arm, but be very gentle. Yoga is all about getting a good stretch, but you never want to feel pain. You want to feel that your muscles relax, but it never should hurt you. And then we're going to inhale and arc this arm up and come out. So inhale. And then we'll do the other side. So once again, you're going to take your knee and you're going to extend it out, and then take this leg, straighten it, and then flatten the foot, place down the palm, and sit back. Good. So then, hand to shin, arm comes up and over. Breathe. Your fingertips are trying to go to the outside of your foot. Make sure that you don't collapse in this way. You want to keep your chest facing forward. Good. Now we're going to inhale and come out. Okay. So now you're going to have your feet upright, and you're just going to take your first two fingers on each hand and you're going to loop them around your big toes. If you can't reach, and don't worry, for a long time I couldn't either. If you can't reach, it's okay. You're just going to grab your shins and you're going to do your best to pull yourself forward. But if you can reach your big toes, that's wonderful. So grab your big toes and you're going to relax and sink your elbows down towards your knees. Now, some people who are very flexible, you might see them be able to place their forehead on their knees. I'm not that flexible, so I can't. This is as far as I can go, and that's okay. Yoga is all about doing as much as you can to give your body the stretch that it needs. Make sure to breathe. So here you're going to be feeling the stretch in your low back, and make sure that the stretch is also going along here, along your hamstrings. And you want to make sure you feel a good stretch, but once again, it should never hurt you. So you want to feel your muscles stretching, But if you feel any pain, especially any joint pain, stop immediately and find a different way. Maybe come up a little bit more. Even if you're up here, if you feel a stretch, that's what matters. So, a couple more breaths. Sink those elbows down a little bit more. Good. With an inhale, we're going to roll back up. Okay. Now, take your feet, place them on the mat, scoot up a little bit. We're going to come into a shoulder bridge. So this pose is also really good for dealing with mild depression. So even if you're not someone who has clinical depression problems, a lot of us, especially during this quarantine period, will get sad and feel lonely at times. So this pose actually helps deal with that, because a really amazing thing is whenever you feel an emotion and you're not able to express it, it actually gets stored within your muscles, and sadness usually gets stored in your hips. So to do the shoulder stretch, or to do the shoulder bridge, you're going to lie on your back, feet on the mat, and they're not too far away. You want them relatively close. Then you're going to take your hands and flex your bum and squeeze up. If you had a tail, you'd be putting it between your legs. So squeeze up, and then your arms are going to come under you. Your hands are going to clasp underneath your butt. You're going to roll your shoulders back. If this is too much for you, then keep your hands on the side. That's okay. But if you can, clasp your hands, push up. So you're squeezing your butt up. Your butt will be engaged. And then you're just going to breathe. Make sure, if you can, that your shoulders are rolled back. Keep your neck relaxed. It's very easy to tense up in your neck and shoulders. You don't want them to be tense. If you can, place your hands to the mat. They're going to want to try to come up. Make sure that they're down towards the mat. And squeeze your butt. Make sure that it's not coming this way. You're not arcing your low back. You're keeping it straight. Your hips are above the ribs. And just breathe. Good. Really feel that stretch in the hips. And now we're going to inhale and come back down. So as you inhale, come back down with control. Release those hands. Let the bum drop back. Good. So now we're going to do another hip stretch. So whenever we come up, you don't just lurch yourself up, because that can be really bad for your neck. So anytime you come up, make sure that you tuck your chin first, and you're going to roll up. If you need help, you can always grab under your thighs and you roll up. Always tuck that chin. So now, with this stretch, if you can't do this, some people are very tight in their hips, and that's totally okay. Come up on your toes, and that'll make it easier. If you can, be on your heels and have them fairly close. Obviously, you don't want them like this, but you're not doing squats. So, you're on your heels, your hands are in a prayer position, your elbows are a little bit below your knee. So it's not directly on top. It's a little bit lower, and as you inhale, you're going to move your hands down, and that's going to stretch out your knees. So once again, you're really feeling a stretch in your hips and your inner thighs. And so remember, in all these poses, you might actually feel an emotion that doesn't seem to match the pose. You might do a pose and suddenly have the urge to cry or to giggle. I've done poses sometimes and felt very angry for no reason at all, and that's because your emotions will get tucked into those muscles, and that emotion will stay there until you stretch it and you let it go. So it's perfectly okay that if you're doing one of these poses, you feel an emotion that seems very out of place, and that's all right. You just let it go, you thank it for its purpose. No emotion is without purpose. So thank it for its purpose, and then let it go. Do your best to keep your back straight. Don't hunch, keep your shoulders back, your head tall, your head back, don't push it forward. Keep that back straight, good. Just a few more breaths. And exhale, we're going to let go. And by letting go, you're going to move your hands up because you don't want to just snap out of a pose. So exhale. Good. All right, we're almost to the end. So this is a quick yoga stretch that you can do before bed, and it's not going to take up too much time before you can get to snooze down. So now we're just going to do a downward dog. So place your hands up towards the top of your mat, and then your feet down towards the back. And so what you really want to make sure that you're doing is you're pushing back. Now make sure that you're not hurting yourself, but your elbows should be straight, your arms should be extending. Extend through those fingers. You don't want to hurt your wrists. So make sure that when you're here, you could almost be up on your fingertips if you really wanted to. So really stretch back, and you're going to feel it in your feet. Now if you want, you can do what's called walking the dog, where you just move your knees a little bit so that your heels can touch. If you can't touch your heels, that's okay. I couldn't touch my heels for a very long time. And feel like there's a string that's pulling your hips at a 45 degrees angle up and back. And on this next inhale, we're going to come into a cobra stretch. So to do that, you're going to drop your elbows to the mat and slide your head very carefully. Don't want to get hurt. You're going to slide your head up and through your arms. So on the inhale, do this slowly. If you have to, watch first. So exhale, inhale. And exhale again. You're going to roll your shoulders back. If you have to adjust, do that. So you want your hands below your shoulders. Your elbows are tucked in tight. Don't want to flare out too much. And so your shoulders are back, your head's back, and you're not looking straight ahead. So you want to look maybe about a foot in front of you and at the ground, and that way you'll have a nice long line from your spine, and it'll keep that straight. So now you have your feet, the tops of your feet are on the mat, and you're going to breathe. Relax your face, make sure that you're still breathing. Relax your jaw. On this next exhale, we're going to push up into a tabletop. So inhale, and exhale, pushing through those fingertips, and your elbows are tight. Good. So now you're going to walk your knees up. Make sure everything's lined up properly. And then we're going to do some cats and cows. So on every inhale, you're going to look up, and you're going to stretch, and you're going to twist so your low back comes down, opening up your stomach. That way, if you have tense abdominals, this is really helpful. It also helps you get a good breath in. So inhale, and then exhale. You're going to curl down, and you're going to feel like you're tensing your core, and you're going to feel like there's a string on your belly button that's pulling it all the way up to the ceiling. Inhale again. And exhale. Inhale again. And exhale.
Inhale.
And make sure this whole time that your shoulders are strong. You don't want to be sinking down into them. So keep those arms strong, keep those shoulders strong. Inhale. And exhale.
Almost there. Now you're going to move your legs together, and we're just going to sit back into a nice child's pose. So your arms come down the side, palms up, and relax on the ground. And just breathe. Now, child's pose has a lot of benefits. So not only is it just good for relaxing your mind and for relaxing your low back, but also helps with digestion. So if you're ever not feeling good in your stomach, and you're not too overfull, because sometimes if you're very, very full, you definitely don't want to be compressing your stomach. But if you're just not feeling right, then child's pose is very helpful for helping with digestion. Keep breathing. Relaxing the shoulders. Make sure that your neck is relaxed. Relax your forehead. Relax your jaw. Really relax everywhere. There should be no tension in child's pose. On this next inhale, we're going to curl up very slowly. We're going to stay seated though. You ready? So exhale. And then inhale, keeping your chin tucked. You're going to curl up.
And then you're going to place your palms on the floor. So we're going to go into a forward fold. So from here, you're going to lift your toes up. And then you're going to roll back onto your heels, keeping your hands on the mat. And you're here, and you're going to walk your hands back towards you. And now, if you can't touch the floor, that's okay. You're just going to hold your shins. And that's totally fine, just so long as you feel a nice stretch here, and you're going to feel a good stretch in your low back. So try to touch the floor, your toes, wherever you can. And then, grab your elbows, relax your neck, and just swing from side to side. This is really good to relax your whole back and spine. Make sure you're breathing. And then come down, arms as low as they can go. And then you're going to bend your knees just a little bit. And then you're going to inhale, and as you inhale, you're going to come up, but go very slowly. Slowly stack the vertebrae of your back. Keep breathing, go very slowly. If you race, you're going to get dizzy. That's not good for you. Just slowly, slowly come up. Little by little, your head's very last. Roll those shoulders back, and then bring your head up. Relax. And you're done. I hope you really enjoyed this yoga exercise, and I highly recommend doing it every night.